With moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, my skin was no longer mine.
My active psoriatic arthritis joint symptoms held me back.
Don't let symptoms define you. Emerge as you. With Tremfya, most people saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months, and the majority stayed clearer at 5 years. Tremfya is proven to significantly reduce joint pain, stiffness, and swelling. It's just 6 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions may occur. Tremfya may increase your risk of infections and lower your ability to fight them. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you had a vaccine or plan to.
Emerge as you. Emerge Tremfyant. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
You should Angie that.
Angie what?
Angie that. It means comparing custom quotes from skilled service professionals or booking at an upfront price so you can find the best price for you. Get started today at Angie.com.
Feeling Claritin Clear is like...
Is she?
Letting her imagination run wild even though she has allergies? Yeah.
Everybody wants super straight, super white teeth. They want that Hollywood white smile. New Sensodyne Clinical White provides 2 shades whiter teeth and 24/7 sensitivity protection. I think it's a great product. It's going to help a lot of patients.
Mike had a heart attack a year ago, but he's still living in the red with a very high risk of another attack. With his risk factors, his recommended LDL-C level should be below 55. Find out if you're living in the red. Learn how to get a free LDL-C test.
Honestly, I was scared when I was told age-related macular degeneration could jeopardize my vision.
Great. One more thing to worry about.
It was all too hard to deal with in the beginning. But making a plan with my doctor to add PreserVision was easy.
PreserVision AREDS 2 contains the exact NEI-recommended clinically proven nutrient formula to help reduce the risk of moderate to advanced AMD progression.
Thanks to PreserVision, I feel better that I'm doing something about it, like millions of others.
PreserVision.
The biggest stars start their morning with today. This week, Selena Gomez, Hannah Waddingham, Kate Hudson. And Wednesday, Tiger Woods and Chris Pine live. Only on Today.
Did you miss any of the Karen Reed murder trial today? We have you covered. We're getting you caught up on everything you may have missed and what you can expect next in the trial. That's just minutes away at 7. miss any of the Karen Reed murder trial today? We have you covered. We're getting you caught up on everything you may have missed and what you can expect next in the trial. That's just minutes away at 7.
This is the GMC Sierra, powered by the TurboMax engine, with the confidence of 430 pound-feet of best-in-class standard torque. GMC Sierra, it's the truck. Get 2.9% APR for 72 months on select 2024 Sierra 1500 models. Or current eligible GMC owners get over $7,800 total value.
You're watching NBC10 Boston. News worthy of you. Tonight on NBC10 Boston, opening statements.
I hit him. Karen Reed was framed.
And new testimony.
What really stood out to me was, the eyes.
They found Johnny in the snow this morning.
Looked like she was giving CPR to him.
2 years ago, a chilling discovery rocked the small town of Canton. Today, a murder trial unfolds on a national scale as a jury and you witness it all.
You alone determine what evidence to believe. You determine the facts of this case.
Canton Confidential, the Karen Reed murder trial, starts right now.
This is a day many have been anticipating for a long time. Thank you for being with us, everyone. I'm JC Monahan.
And I'm Glenn Jones. We're just starting to learn how each side will make its case. We have team coverage for you tonight. Legal analyst Michael Coyne, Dean of the Massachusetts School of Law, and our trial analyst Sue O'Connell are here in studio.
Eli Rosenberg will join us from Dedham for reaction outside court. We want to begin with our Kirsten Glavin with today's big headlines. Kirsten.
Well, this highly anticipated murder trial is officially starting to take off. Today, both parties laid out their cases for the very first time to a jury. We also heard from 3 witnesses who were called to testify. Karen Reed and her defense leaving court confident after wrapping up the first day of testimony in her murder trial. How was the first day of testimony?
We're pleased with the way the trial's going.
Karen, how was it to see that video?
Seen it many times, and it's difficult each time.
This police dash camera footage shown to a jury where Reed is seen reacting to John O'Keefe's body found dead in the snow.
When I arrived, I saw Miss Reed looked like she was giving CPR to him, and she had blood on her face.
Canton police officer Stephen Seraph describing what he saw as first on scene.
She kept saying, this is all my fault, this is my fault, I did this. And she was very hysterical. And she kept asking, he's dead. Is he dead? Is he dead?
Paul O'Keefe, the victim's brother, and his wife Erin, both taking the stand and recounting the moments they first interacted with Reed that February morning.
She said, I don't think I'm ever going to see you guys again. And I said, of course you will. We're friends.
Karen Reed was there. She was being restrained by hospital employees, and she was, screaming out to us, asking if he was alive.
In a straightforward delivery, state prosecutors telling the jury to listen closely to the facts as the trial unfolds.
Is that the only true and just verdict based on that is that the defendant, Karen Reed, is guilty of murder in the second degree.
Reiterating in opening statements that John O'Keefe never made it into the house on Fairview Road the night he was killed.
From all of those people within that house that evening, none of them at any point in time before John O'Keefe come into the house.
Karen Reed's defense team wasting no time alleging a large-scale police cover-up, accusing law enforcement of planting broken taillight evidence.
Karen Reed was framed.
Her attorney raising concerns as to how the investigation was handled.
Lead investigator, Trooper Michael Proctor, right from the start, called Karen Reed names you would reserve only for your worst enemies.
Reed's defense also questioning the credibility of the lead state police investigator, Trooper Michael Proctor.
He told his high school buddies that he was searching her phone for nude photos of Karen Reed.
Now, cross-examination of that police officer who was first on scene is expected to start first thing tomorrow morning. As we have reported in the past, this trial is projected to last somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks long. We're live here in Dedham tonight. I'm Kirsten Glavin, NBC10 Boston.
All right, Kirsten, now let's take a closer look at those witnesses that Kirsten just mentioned.
We saw 3 of them today: Paul O'Keefe, John's younger brother, Paul's wife, Erin O'Keefe, and Canton police officer Stephen Sarif. Prosecutors used their line of questioning to depict John as a devoted family man. Paul and Erin spoke about John taking in his niece and nephew. John raised them as his own after his sister lost her battle with cancer and her husband died just a few months later.
We didn't have a, large enough house to take on 2 other children, so my brother stepped in, moved into the house in Canton and raised them for 8 years.
Paul and Johnny went out to lunch one day, and we had kind of assumed, because Johnny was out on, the streets doing his job like that Paul and I would take the kids, and Johnny said he was going to do it.
So again, the start of testimony really did focus on the victim in this case, which is probably proper place to start. Michael and Sue are back with us now. So let's talk about the day we just had. It started with opening statements, and I have to tell you, when I listened to the prosecutor, I was sitting back in my seat and listening methodically. He went through a chronology. But when the defense started speaking, I found myself on the edge of my seat. He was telling a story I really wanted to hear more about. What were your takeaways?
I'm a little bit underwhelmed. I thought the prosecution, as you just pointed out, the defense did, would tell a better story, would use some type of theme that would draw me in to want to hear more. And instead, it was a recitation of all of the witnesses that we're going to hear anyway, and I didn't find it compelling, as we found the defendant. Well, I do worry that the defendant may have assumed a bigger burden than they need to here. I think it's a reasonable doubt case. To now have to, at least in the jury's eyes, prove that they were framed, that the evidence was manufactured, that's a burden that they didn't need to necessarily take on, but now they have, and we'll see if the evidence supports it.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying to Michael earlier, I knew all the people who were listed in the prosecution's opening statements, and I knew the evidence, and I was bored out of my mind and got confused a couple of times. And I'm thinking, if I'm confused, how's the jury feel? The opening statement's supposed to be an outline, it's not a thesis paper and a final paper. It's supposed to be the highlights of what you can expect. And again, with the defense, you walked away understanding exactly what the plan was. You had a couple of bombshell moments with the Proctor, the allegations about what Proctor said. And again, you left thinking, okay, prove this to me. I'm open-minded, prove this to me. And you forgot about what the prosecution said.
What do you think, Michael? You just mentioned they set a bar higher than they needed to. Yes. Nothing that these defense attorneys do is by accident. In other words, this wasn't just a slip up. They purposely put that in. And why do you think? Because this, up until now, the whole idea that this has divided people is about the fact that it looks like you can paint either side as being right.
Well, and that is what they intend to do. And the question is, will all of their evidence be able to get in before the jury so that they will consider it? I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's a trial strategy that they've decided to undertake. The problem is it's the government's burden to prove beyond reasonable doubt all of their charges. I think it's a very difficult burden for the government to prove a second-degree murder here.
Yeah, but why would, that's what I'm saying, why then would the defense sort of add to their load if really it should be on the prosecution?
Because they think that this is what will result in a not guilty verdict. And time will tell. But the fact is that when you have police misconduct, as it's alleged here, if their evidence will continue to support those allegations, juries and our courts feel very strongly that police misconduct usually will result in a not guilty. Look at the O.J. case, look at Casey Anthony.
And remember, they're not just alleging one entity of police misconduct. They might have enough evidence from what the opening statement was to allege misconduct or mistakes or sloppy police work in a number of places, in a number of areas. And if they're successful in doing that, it doesn't have to be a big C conspiracy. It can just be bad police work all around, and that might be enough.
But doesn't this set up a confrontation in the courtroom for when these police officers take the stand?
There's no doubt. That's what's going to happen tomorrow morning with the first officer that's cross-examined. That'll give us a big explanation as to how far this is going to go. And the fact is they will attack those witnesses significantly. You'll notice they didn't attack the two family members who testified today. And the prosecution was right to try and humanize the victim in this case, to really show him as a family man, as you said. The problem is they also humanized the defendant in the process by saying that she took care of these kids. She really was, in essence, their mother in the house. And that makes her look pretty good in the jury's eyes.
If you didn't watch, I mean, so far, everything they said, and these are the prosecuting witnesses, that she was lovely, is how they, like you had just said.
The biggest threat in what, there was a kiss that alleged that she got angry about, and they fought for 20 minutes, and I talked to someone today who said, that's all, 20 minutes? That's all. And then there was the Dunkin' Donuts issue, where both the brother and the sister-in-law brought up that...
Spoiling the kids,
obviously, John O'Keefe would get upset about it. That makes sense. We're all parents. We have partners. We know what happens. But, is Dunkin' Donuts enough to make you so angry, and it's such a volatile relationship, that, murder could happen?
Well, then what do you think, just based on opening statements, what's the key evidence that you heard today that you went, okay, this might be where we're headed toward in the trial?
The problem with Proctor is, and the problem with law enforcement, there's going to be other incidents of that nature that they'll be able to get into evidence, and I think that's going to ultimately cast the prosecution's fate. The juries do not like government misconduct, and you've got enough of it here that's going to be problematic for the Commonwealth.
It sure does feel like law enforcement is going to be on trial as much as Karen Reed is.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, they definitely are already on trial, and that's what's happening in Canton.
All right. Sue, Michael, thank you. There are a lot of pieces to this puzzle, and we're here to make it a little bit easier to put it all together. Scan the QR code on your screen to go to our app. You can interact with a timeline on the case, as well as who's who, going in depth on all the key people involved. You can find that all on our app and on our website, NBC10Boston.com. Still a lot to come here today, including details on a hearing happening right now in Canton that was spurred by this case.
We have Eli Rosenberg continuing our team coverage in Dedham. Eli?
And JC, all eyes right now on this courthouse ahead of day 2 of the Karen Reed trial. But how those who were not able to get inside for day 1 had a really unique way to make sure they didn't miss a moment. The story coming up.
Somebody's stuck in the 3rd floor. Apartments with no emergency exits. Es una gran preocupación in Lawrence. The Lawrence fire chief says illegal apartments are a constant danger.
In 9 years, I haven't had a fire, residential property that hasn't had an illegal bedroom.
Un peligro que descubrimos porque ninguna de estas faltas fue multada.
After this last fire, almost having 2 firefighters, I don't want that either.
Wednesday at 11 on NBC10 Boston.
Y en Telemundo, Nueva Inglaterra.
Hurry in for great deals on the trucks that are built to serve. Ram.
Right now during Ram Truck Month, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2024 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4 for $289 a month. Visit your local Ram dealer today.
Household expenses are higher, and at National Grid, we know more of our customers can benefit from extra assistance. We are here to help you manage your energy bills. It all starts with a no-cost home energy assessment. We'll assess your home and help find ways to reduce your energy costs. Like getting up to 100% off energy-saving upgrades based on income eligibility. Get started now and see what you may qualify for at ngrid.com/start saving.
Where can you get Wi-Fi speeds faster than Verizon? X marks the spot. Get the lowest price ever for Xfinity Gig Speed Internet with unlimited data included. That's Xfinity Gig Speed Internet for only $30 a month for 12 months with no annual contract. And you add a line of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited. If you want to save more than $800 over Verizon in your first year, X marks the spot. Switch to fast, reliable Xfinity Internet and bring on the good stuff.
Hurry in for great deals on the trucks that are built to serve. Ram.
Right now during Ram Truck Month, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2024 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4 for $289 a month. Visit your local Ram dealer today.
Thank you very much, Ms. Giannetti.
If you go by the courthouse in Dedham, this is probably what you'll see. It's perhaps the most visible part of this case, what is happening outside the courthouse. Demonstrators, many of whom are Karen Read supporters, have been making themselves heard and seen in their bright pink outfits.
This case has quickly become one of the most high-profile trials we've had in a long time. So we want to send things out to our Eli Rosenberg, who's at the courthouse in Dedham. Eli, talk about the atmosphere today. How was it?
JC, no secret, this is a case and a trial that had really resonated with so many people. Huge interest in what's happening here at the courthouse behind me. So naturally, there was a lot of people today who wanted to get inside. The courtroom just couldn't fit them. So what we found out here was people finding unique ways to hang on every single minute of day one of testimony.
Proctor was not telling the truth. You learn that Michael Proctor
not able to get into the courtroom and determined not to miss a moment. Supporters of Karen Read huddled around a speaker broadcasting day one of Read's trial.
This crowd tells me in hope, belief, truth, love, camaraderie, and we're all here to support and find the real killers.
A couple dozen Read supporters, all wearing varying degrees of pink, in support of Read gathered. A court-ordered buffer zone around Dedham District Court, keeping them a block away.
I'm streaming NBC10's coverage of the Karen Read trial.
Many getting here first thing this morning. Many also taking off work to be here.
Here we go.
Here it is.
This is not the first day I took off. I ran out of time, and then I had to accumulate a little bit more. I have taken off day after day to come here because it's so important to our country.
Everyone out here seemed to have a different reason for being here. This case connecting with many like few trials do.
As awful as the situation is, I've made a lot of friends. We've formed lifelong friendships. It's a really sad situation, but I've met some really great people being out here supporting them.
And as Kirsten reported a little bit earlier in the newscast here, 6 to 8 weeks is what the judge is estimating this trial is going to last. And talking with these people out here, they say they're going to be out here every single day, even if they have to use up more vacation. They say it's just that important. Live in Dedham, Eli Rosenberg, NBC10 Boston.
Certainly an eventful day, Eli, for people following this case. And there's more. The day is not over yet.
Now, coming up, we'll take you to Canton, where tonight town leaders are discussing an audit of the town's police department and its role in the Karen Read case. We'll be right back.
It's one fantastic ride. The turbocharged, tech-inspired Kia Forte. Lease the new 2024 Forte LXS for $189 a month.
Have you been waiting to make a change? It's time. Rethink the way you live. Save up to 20% during our Buy More, Save More event. Experience the difference at Jordan's.
Your emblem of devotion. Have your engagement ring custom made by the Jewelry Exchange. Choose a 1-carat lab-grown diamond for $5.99 or a natural GIA for $19.90. 18K mounts are $4.99. Thousands of choices, always the best deal. The Jewelry Exchange, Sudbury.
Meet the future. A chef, a designer, and an engineer. All learning to save and spend their money with Chase. The chef's cooking up first with her new debit card.
Hungry?
Uh-huh. The designer's eyeing sequins, no, plaid. While mom is eyeing his spending. Nice. And the engineer? She's taking control with her own account for college. 3 futures, all with Chase. Freedom for kids, control for parents. One bank for both. Chase, make more of what's yours.
On Medicare? Have diabetes? When enjoying life's special moments, are you left guessing which foods are right for you? With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, you'll know your glucose and where it's headed. No finger sticks needed. Freestyle Libre 3. Manage your diabetes with more confidence and lower your A1C so you can focus on those special moments. Covered by Medicare for more people managing diabetes with insulin. Talk to your provider or visit freestylelibre.us/Medicare.
your favorite morning news team.
He's optimistic, and his name is Optimistic Raul Martinez.
It is, and she's optimistic. Latoya Edwards
has a new addition.
For timing and how much rain we're going to get, let's check in with our meteorologist, Tevin Wooten.
Join Latoya, Raul, and now Tevin.
How excited are you to be on this morning?
Oh, I am so excited. I can't wait to go.
Make every morning a morning worthy of you. Weekdays 5 to 8 a.m. only on NBC10 Boston.
You won't find confidence on any list of SUV features, but one brand has it in spades, backed with a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Lease the new 2024 Sportage LX for $269 a month.
Welcome back. All eyes for the next few weeks will be on the courthouse in Dedham, but what's playing out right now in Canton is just as compelling.
Accusations of corruption in the Karen Reed case sparked an audit of the Canton Police Department, and we've learned that independent audit will begin tonight. These are live images from inside that meeting, which began at 7. Tonight, the audit committee will try to decide the scope of services for hiring independent investigators to conduct the audit. Of course, this all comes on the same day as the Reed trial. In the eyes of many in Canton, their entire town government is under a cloud of suspicion based on perceptions around the Karen Reed trial. At select board meetings, it's been near chaos. They even shut down public comment.
Kind of like tribal behavior. It's a difficult time for Canton, and we see the solution being transparency, accountability.
Last November, residents turned out in droves to vote, by a narrow margin, for an independent audit of Canton PD. Eroded public trust was ceded almost 2 years earlier, when Canton officers were the first investigators on scene, where the body of Boston police officer John O'Keefe was discovered. Since then, Reed supporters have become convinced law enforcement has something to hide. While Canton officers initially responded to 34 Fairview Road, state police took over soon after. Its lead investigator, Michael Proctor, became the subject of an internal review. Now the entire Canton police force is set to go under the microscope. An independent audit, launching on the very same day Karen Reed goes to trial. We're back now with our panel, legal analyst Michael Coyne. He's the dean at the Massachusetts School of Law, and our Sue O'Connell. So let's talk about where that piece just left off, Michael. Clearly, the Canton Police Department is under a microscope. There's a lot of people who have doubt in that agency in the town of Canton. But state police don't get absolved either. There seems to be lots of questions there. What questions do you have?
The question really focuses on why were some of the law enforcement personnel in that house that night when they knew that they had close ties to others. And the fact is that the investigation from the outset then was tainted. And that's really problematic. We have a death of a young man who by all accounts was a good, decent man. And because of the mistakes that were made by the Canton Police Department and it appears the Mass State Police, that he may never find justice. And that's a real tragedy.
Well, and talking about Canton, how divisive this has been, can you talk, Sue, a little bit about how the audit even came about, or this step now to get an investigator for the audit? Because it's kind of collude.
Yeah, I mean, I think every police department should be audited on a regular basis. How about that with an outside investigator? But, there was a vote that the town took and said, yes, by a narrow margin, we want this audit to happen. And tonight, they're going to decide the scope of it. I was a resident of Canton for 10 years. I know a few people on the witness list. I don't think that people ever felt they had anything to worry about with their police department, but they never had anything this high profile in recent years happen. So, this is, I think, democracy at work, with folks going to the ballot box saying, we're concerned about this. Many people I talk to in Canton say, this is not a pro or anti-Karen Reed situation. They had a number of people who ran for the select board this spring, and sometimes people were painting them as a pro-Karen Reed. And they're saying, no, we just want an investigation. There's a cloud over our police department and our town. Let's get in and do a good audit. Let's fix it if we find problems.
That's a nice way to shift the paradigm, saying, just remove any doubt or fog right there with an audit.
Yeah. Transparency cleans all, right?
Yes, it does. Sunshine.
All right, Sue, Michael, thank you again. We'll be right back.
Apartments with no emergency exits. The Lawrence fire chief says it's a constant danger.
In 9 years, I haven't had a fire, residential property that hasn't had an illegal bedroom.
Why some people might not even realize they're living in one. Wednesday at 11 on NBC10 Boston.
Weather on NBC10 Boston is brought to you by Stop & Shop. Feed the moment.
Find your inner child in the totally torqued out Dodge Hornet RT crossover.
Right now, well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles can lease the 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $229 a month.
Massachusetts, want to save energy? Eversource, a proud sponsor of Mass Save, is here to help with weatherization, the most cost-effective way to lower energy use while making your home more comfortable. With proper air sealing and insulation, you can lower your home's heating and cooling costs by up to 20%. Plus, right now, you can get 75 to 100% off the cost of insulation upgrades. Take the first step today with a home energy assessment. Act now and start saving.
There's electricity in the air at your New England Ford dealers, your electric vehicle headquarters, where you'll find the exciting Ford Lightning, the only EV that can say it's a Ford F-150, and the super quick Ford Mustang Mach-E with storage in the front and the back, along with a whole host of high-tech features. These EVs are in stock and ready for immediate delivery. The future is here, and its name is Ford. Now get 0% APR for 72 months plus $3,000 bonus cash, or lease for $399 a month for 36 months.
This doesn't happen often. Choose from 2 incredible offers at Bernie and Phil's. With a minimum purchase, save up to $2,000 plus 0% financing for 1 year. Or choose 0% financing up to 72 months. We carry beautiful furniture at amazing prices. In-stock items are available for next day delivery or customize and receive in as little as 30 days. Make your home more comfortable with savings up to $2,000 or 0% financing up to 72 months at Bernie and Phil's.
That's nice.
It's election season.
Es temporada de elecciones.
That means you have a lot of decisions to make.
Son muchas las decisiones por tomar. And we're here to make sure you get the information you need to make your decision.
We'll break down the issues and keep you informed every step of the way with NBC and Telemundo.
Confía en NBC y Telemundo.
Decision 2024.
Decisión 2024.
Only on the Boston stations of NBC and Telemundo. Political coverage worthy of you.
Find your inner child in the totally torqued out Dodge Hornet RT crossover.
Right now, well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles can lease the 2024 Dodge Hornet RT for $229 a month.
Here in Boston, trust is earned. So if you want people to see their town in a new light, you've got to be willing to explore new places to find it.
Well, NBC10 Boston is your home for the Karen Read trial. We are streaming the entirety of the trial on air on our sister station, NECN, as well as online and on our app. Each night at 7 right here on NBC10 Boston, we'll highlight the day's big moments, bring you in-depth analysis, and deep dive into the case that has gained, as we know, national attention.
Before we wrap up tonight, let's get final thoughts from Sue and Michael as we head into day 2 of this trial with Seraph on the witness stand first.
I look forward to a strong cross-examination. I don't think it'll be lengthy, but I think it'll be very strong.
And I think we're going to move on. We've set that it snowed. It was a very snowy day. It snowed. We've established that it snowed and there was a blizzard. So I imagine if I was in the juror box, I would like this to move along and not talk about the snow.
To be clear, it's Officer Seraph. He is the first one who arrived on the scene when there was a call in about John O'Keefe being found in the driveway.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. Thank you both.
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing a lot of them. That's all the time we have tonight at 7. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm JC Monahan.
And I'm Glenn Jones. We leave you with a live picture of the courthouse, the Norfolk Superior Courthouse in Denham. Day 2 tomorrow in the Karen Read murder trial.
Hurry in for great deals on the trucks that are built to serve. Ram.
Right now during Ram Truck Month, well-qualified current FCA lessees can lease the 2024 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab 4x4 for $289 a month. Visit your local Ram dealer today.
There are those who factor, and those who don't. Nothing this good comes this easy.
Except Factor.
Fresh, never frozen meals, ready in 2 minutes.
I was born with a sunny disposition, but I had so much knee pain and foot pain. I wasn't that way anymore. I didn't know what to do. But then I'm driving down the street one day and my knee's hurting, and I see a Good Feet store. I thought, what do I have to lose? Once I got my arch supports from Good Feet, I just went back to being my happy self again. My wife noticed it, my friends noticed it, even my dog noticed it. I just wish that I'd found Good Feet 20 or 30 years ago. I've got my Sonny back.
Last year, I was laid off just before the holidays. Losing a job was a little bit scary. But I knew that I had Uber to fall back on. Being an independent driver with Uber allows the flexibility to be there for my family and make a good living too. Now, some officials want to force independent drivers to become company employees. I definitely don't want to punch a clock. That schedule wouldn't work for me or my family. Drivers want to stay independent in Massachusetts. It works for us.
Hurry in for great deals on the truck